If you hate crowded places, people usually explain it for you. They say you are anxious. They say you are antisocial. They say you just need to push yourself more. Some say it casually. Others say it like advice. What almost no one considers is that your reaction did not come from nowhere. Because we are raised with a quiet belief about crowds. Crowds mean life. Crowds mean energy. Crowds mean connection. Busy restaurants, packed events, loud concerts, full calendars. If you enjoy those things, you are seen as normal. If you avoid them, something must be wrong. But inside your body, the experience is very different. You do not walk into a crowded place and think, I do not like people. You walk in and immediately feel your system switch on. Your awareness spreads outward all at once. Your body becomes alert. Your muscles brace slightly. Nothing bad is happening. No one is threatening you. And yet, you feel like you are working. You notice the volume before the words, the movement before the faces, the closeness before the conversation. While others settle in, you stay slightly activated. You can function, you can smile, you can stay, but you are managing yourself the entire time. This is usually where misunderstanding begins. From the outside, it looks like discomfort. From the inside, it feels like overload. And the longer you stay, the more expensive it feels. Not emotionally dramatic, not panic, just a steady drain. What people do not see is that your body is doing more work than theirs, filtering more noise, tracking more movement, holding more awareness at once. So when you say you want to leave early, or choose a quieter place, or skip the event entirely, it is not because you are weak. It is because your system is tired. This is the part most people never hear. Hating crowded places is not about preference. It is about capacity. And when capacity is exceeded too often, the body starts protecting itself. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly. You start choosing space. You start choosing calm. You start choosing environments where you do not have to stay braced. That choice is usually judged from the outside, but from the inside, it feels like relief. And that is where the real psychology begins. Because once your body learns what overwhelm feels like, it does not forget. And that changes how you move through the world.
Most people assume you started hating crowds suddenly, like one bad experience flipped a switch. Like you just woke up one day and decided you could not handle it anymore. But that is not how it actually happens. It builds quietly. At first, you push through. You stay longer than you want to. You tell yourself it is fine. You stand in long lines, sit in packed rooms, navigate busy streets. You do what everyone else is doing, and nothing breaks. But something accumulates. Your body remembers how much effort it took, how alert you had to stay, how little space you had to reset. Each time, you leave feeling slightly more drained than expected. Not exhausted in a dramatic way, just heavier, slower. You notice it later, not in the moment, when you get home and the quiet hits, when your shoulders finally drop, when your breathing deepens without you trying. That contrast starts teaching your body something. Busy environments cost you more than they cost others, so your system adapts. You hesitate before accepting plans. You check the time of day. You wonder how crowded it will be. You start choosing smaller spaces, earlier hours, familiar places. Not because you are afraid, because your body is learning. This is the part most people misunderstand. They think avoidance means weakness, but what is really happening is calibration. Your system is adjusting based on experience. It has learned that staying too long in overstimulating environments leads to depletion. So it starts pulling back earlier, not to isolate you, to preserve you. If this pattern sounds familiar, pause for a moment. You can leave a comment and simply say yes, not to explain yourself, just to recognize it. Because many people live this shift without ever naming it. What makes this difficult is that the change is subtle. There is no clear breaking point, no dramatic moment you can point to, just a gradual narrowing of tolerance. Crowds that once felt manageable start feeling heavy. Events that used to be fun now feel like work. And when you listen to that signal, people assume something is wrong. They tell you to try harder, to build tolerance, to stop limiting yourself. But your body is not trying to limit your life. It is trying to keep you regulated. And once it learns that constant stimulation leads to overload, it will keep sending that message, whether others understand it or not. But sensory load is only part of the story, because crowds do not just overwhelm your body. They also demand something from who you are. And that is where things deepen next. Crowded places do not just overwhelm your senses. They quietly change who you have to be. In busy environments, there is an unspoken expectation. Stay alert, stay responsive, stay socially available. You are expected to track conversations, read faces, react at the right moment. There is no space to be neutral. If you go quiet, it looks strange. If you pause, it feels noticeable. If you pull inward, people assume something is wrong. So you adjust. You smile when you feel blank. You nod when your mind feels full. You respond even when you would rather sit still. Not because you are fake, but because crowds do not allow softness. They reward visibility. Over time, this creates a subtle tension inside you. You are present physically, but slightly disconnected internally. You notice yourself watching instead of participating, managing expressions instead of feeling them, waiting for the moment you can finally relax. This is why crowded places can feel strangely lonely. Not because you are alone, but because you are not fully yourself. You are performing regulation, holding yourself together in an environment that gives you no room to reset. And the longer you do this, the more you associate crowds with self-loss. You start to feel smaller there, less clear, less grounded. Not anxious, not afraid, just reduced. This is where many people get it wrong. They think you dislike people, but what you actually dislike is what crowds require you to give up. Your pace, your internal rhythm, your ability to be quiet without explanation. You feel more like yourself in spaces where you can let your face rest, where silence is not suspicious, where you do not have to stay on. That is why one-on-one conversations feel different, why quiet rooms feel safe, why familiar environments restore you. They do not ask you to split yourself. Crowds do. So you begin choosing differently. Not dramatically, not with announcements. You leave earlier. You skip events. You say no without over-explaining. And from the outside, this starts to look like avoidance. But inside, it feels like preservation. You are not pulling away from life. You are protecting the version of yourself that gets lost when stimulation stays too high for too long. And that choice, even when it is misunderstood, changes how you relate to the world.
Because once you stop forcing yourself into spaces that erase you, you start asking a deeper question. Where do I actually feel like myself? That question leads somewhere important, and it is where the story turns next. When you start honoring your limits with crowded places, something shifts quietly inside you. You feel calmer, more present, more like yourself. But that calm often comes with confusion. People question your choices. They ask why you never want to go out. They joke about you being low energy or too sensitive. Sometimes they mean well. Sometimes they do not. And for a while, you might question yourself too. You wonder if you are missing out, if you are shrinking your world, if avoiding crowds means avoiding life. But here is the part most people never tell you. Liking quiet does not mean you lack depth. Needing space does not mean you lack courage. It means your system works differently. You do not recharge through stimulation. You recharge through clarity. Through environments where your body does not have to stay alert, where your attention can settle instead of scatter, where your thoughts can finish themselves. Once you accept this, your choices stop feeling like limitations and start feeling like alignment. You stop forcing yourself into situations that drain you. You start designing your life around how you actually function. That does not mean isolation. It means intention. You choose times when places are quieter. You choose settings that allow breathing room. You choose depth over density. And when you do show up, you show up fully. Not braced, not counting minutes, not waiting for relief. Just present. This is the inversion most people never make. Growth does not always come from pushing yourself harder. Sometimes it comes from listening more closely. You are not broken because crowded places overwhelm you. You are not weak for needing less noise. You are responding intelligently to your own limits. And those limits are not flaws. They are information. When you stop fighting them, you gain energy instead of losing it. You gain clarity instead of confusion. You gain a life that feels like it fits. So if crowded places drain you, do not rush to fix yourself. Pay attention, because your body is not asking you to disappear from the world. It is asking you to meet it on terms that allow you to stay whole. If this video put words to something you have lived quietly, you are not alone. Many people move
Through the world this way, without ever naming it.
Before you go, leave a comment. Do crowded places overwhelm you because you are avoiding life, or because your system needs space to function? I will be reading.